can honestly say that up until taking Ozempic, I had never been judged for any medication that I've ever been on. I really did not realize the stigma associated with it when I started 2 years ago, but in this video, I want to cover why do people hate Ozempic? Why does it have such a bad reputation? Why is there so much backlash on the internet about it? And what are the things that people are thinking about it that are leading them to believe that it is actually bad for the overall human population to be taking this medication? So Ozempic was originally made to treat type 2 diabetes, but upon further studies, they realized that it was helping people lose weight. And so they created something called Wegovy, which is basically the same thing as Ozempic, just basically different brand name. They're all falling under the same drug as semaglutide, which is the peptide that's found in both Ozempic and Wegovy. I think part of the reason that it's been so bad is because of the marketing and the shame associated with it, because if you watch the commercials and stuff, a lot of it mentions Ozempic. They don't really mention Wegovy or Mounjaro or other GLP-1s. They really focus heavily on Ozempic. So I feel like whenever people think about weight loss drugs, Ozempic is the first thing that comes to mind for them. And typically, you know, if you see overexposure to something in the media and you keep seeing things about it, the media does tend to skew negatively in all aspects because negative news sells much better than positive news. I think shaming people in their weight loss is very socially acceptable. I know that there's a lot of YouTube channels that just simply react to fat YouTubers, and I don't think that that would be acceptable if they were, you know, having some sort of eating disorder or something like that. But it seems socially acceptable to make fun of fat rather than make fun of anything else. One of the reasons why I think personally people don't like it is because they think it's taking the easy way out. I've heard that in a lot of comments, and I've just sort of realized that people think that anytime you take a medication to lose weight that you haven't tried diet and exercise, and that you haven't tried adjusting your calorie intake, and that you haven't tried, you know, walking and moving. And so I think part of it just comes from them thinking, oh, they're gonna get the easy way and I'm having to do it the hard way. So it's honestly just kind of like a mental block that people have, thinking that people don't deserve it, I believe. And that's kind of, you know, a shame, because if you had any other illness, you definitely wouldn't tell someone not to get a cancer treatment. You wouldn't tell someone not to get, you know, blood pressure medicine. So I think in the case of Ozempic, the fact that it relates to weight loss is the major reason why people feel so confident in hating it, and then hating it online, hating it in front of their friends and family. I know a lot of people feel uncomfortable to tell anyone how they're losing weight. You know, a lot of people have been accused of using Ozempic to lose weight. A lot of celebrities have been accused of it. And, you know, I think it would be good for the overall stigma if they would say they're using it, but at the same time, it's really nobody's business how you choose to treat your body. And I truly believe obesity is a chronic disease. I don't think it's something that, you know, is a willpower issue. It's something that I've been battling my whole entire life, so I know firsthand what it feels like to try and just have nothing work. So along with it being socially acceptable to shame fat people, it's definitely acceptable to shame celebrities. So I think that celebrities and the news outlets have definitely grabbed on to the Ozempic tagline. It really ranks well, even if you do YouTube videos, if you do news articles about it. It's something that, as long as you have something new to say, you rank pretty well. So I feel like that's another reason why it's getting so much attention and so much hate. I do think influencer culture also has been playing a part in this, because we're seeing so many people talk about being on the drug. And, you know, whenever your For You page or something is flooded with people saying, oh, take Ozempic, it does sort of kind of get under your skin, because you're like, why is everyone talking about this? Why is everyone doing this? And it can seem like, you know, you're the only one who isn't on it. And I don't think that that's the case. I think that it's just a recency bias, and also just, you know, it's just in the current news cycle. So I could see why people would not like it for that reason. But the primary reason that I hear on my channel of why people don't like this medication is they think that people who are taking Ozempic or taking Wegovy or Mounjaro or any GLP-1 medication, they actually believe that if you are not diabetic, that you do not deserve this medication and that you are taking it away from someone who is diabetic. And so I think that is one of the main causes of the hate, because when there are shortages and when the medicine is hard to find, people really get upset about that. But what people need to realize is that there are other medications for diabetic people to take. Luckily, I've been able to get my medicine pretty easily since I started using Fridays. This is a telehealth company that I partner with, and I really love it. Everything gets shipped to my door. It's super easy, and I do have a discount link and a discount code. If you use code BELLA and use my link, you will get $20 off of your first month by using my information. So with that being said, accessibility is something that I wanted to talk about because pricing is definitely a factor, and that is why a lot of people feel like they've been excluded from getting this medicine. I know that if you are to pay out of pocket for it in the typical go to a pharmacy to get it from, get the pen and everything, you're going to pay anywhere between $800 to $1,200 for it. Thankfully, now that compounding pharmacies have came along, I'm actually paying, I think, $228 a month for my doctor visit and for my medicine. So it's definitely become a lot more affordable, but I do think that anytime something seems on the fringe of accessibility, I think that people do get mad about it. For example, if there's a life-saving drug that, your family can't access and you can't afford it, of course you're going to feel a little angry towards the people who are able to get it before you. So I'm not really sure if the backlash is justified or if it's just negativity that spreads on the internet, but ever since I started posting videos about this topic, I've gotten a lot of hate mail, I guess, but I've also gotten a lot of encouragement. So I wanted to continue sharing everything, but I do feel like, there is a stigma even among physicians about weight loss medicine, because I didn't personally feel super comfortable asking my in-person physician for Ozempic. I felt like going the telehealth route was a little bit less, embarrassing. And I know it shouldn't feel embarrassing, but it does. Anything that is related to your weight, it just feels like people think it's your fault. And so I think that's another one of the reasons why people don't want people to be able to take Ozempic, is because they think, well, they should just try harder. Obviously, they're not trying hard enough. They need to change their diet. They're eating too many carbs. They're eating too many calories. And I think a lot of it is just misinformation and miscommunication. I think another reason people hate it is because they think that you're going to gain all the weight back. And I think that's a pretty valid concern. I do think that there is some people who obviously need to be on this medication for life. I think personally, if I could just continue to be on it and have a maintenance dose, I would be happy. I wouldn't feel as stressed. And I guess there's some people who think that that's bad, but I personally don't see anything wrong with it. I think that most people, whenever they do a diet, most people actually regain the weight. So, I don't see any difference between me regaining the weight if I come off of Ozempic versus me regaining the weight that I lost whenever I lost 50 pounds from counting calories. If you look at public health, you can find out from a lot of the FDA and CDC websites that most Americans are now overweight or obese. It's not like half of us. It's not a small fraction. It's most of us. And I will include myself in the statistic because I'm still overweight. So looking at that and thinking about that, I guess I would ask, do you hate Ozempic, or do you hate the fact that we all need it and that our healthcare and our food system is so corrupt and so bad that we're having to inject ourselves with medicine in order to not die from obesity? Just something to ponder. I think that that's part of the reason why people get a little frustrated, because they think, well, if they would just do the things that they need to do and eat right and whatever, then they would lose the weight. But our society and our food is not really structured to have weight loss and to maintain a healthy weight. If you go to the grocery store and you don't have necessarily a nutrition degree, it's going to be very hard to make good choices. I can't finish the video without talking about the side effects. This to me is the most valid reason to hate Ozempic. The side effects are pretty harsh for some people, and I know that going through it myself, I would not say to take this lightly. I would say that you definitely want to do your research before you start a GLP-1 medication. Of course, there have been some articles come out about pancreatitis, which being a very rare side effect, I would like to add, but anytime even the smallest thing happens, the news blows it up. So I feel like, you know, when you hear those negative side effects of like, oh, I had to go in the hospital because of Ozempic, a lot of times that is because the person either had a dosing issue where they did not take the correct dose, they titrated their medicine up too quickly, or they simply had other factors at play that they did not need to be on this medicine. So, I mean, personally, I think the side effects would be the biggest drawback to this medicine, but the side effects for me are also the biggest reason why I want to stay on the medicine, because for me, not waking up starving, not going to bed every night thinking about food, not being able to enjoy social activities because I'm just constantly thinking about food, those are all positive side effects, and those are the ones that I think are a lot less talked about. So we've talked about shame, we've talked about affordability, accessibility, we've talked about other weight loss methods like calorie counting, and we've also just kind of talked about the societal expectation that if you need to lose weight, you need to do it the old-fashioned way, which is, you know, eat less, move more. And we know that metabolically, we don't all work like that. Our bodies are not all designed like that. A lot of people have issues. I have insulin resistance. I have PCOS. I have multiple mental health issues that really make it difficult for me to maintain a healthy weight. I have been trying for over 10 years to maintain a healthy weight. So I just think that it's interesting that I take this kind of medication and my life improves significantly. And so I guess the last thing is that haters gonna hate. I mean, to be honest, I feel like anytime you've got something good going for you, people on the internet shit on it. I don't know why. I don't understand it. There's just a subsect of people who aren't happy for you and aren't going to be happy for you no matter what. So when you take criticism for anything that you're doing, just keep in mind that if somebody is not playing in the same field that you're in, if they're not in the same game that you're in, please don't take their criticism too harshly, because most of the time it's coming from a place of ignorance or not understanding, and I think that that is why there is a lot of hate around Ozempic. Just for my own entertainment, I would love for you guys to leave a comment of some of the most negative or stupid things that you've heard about Ozempic. I just find it entertaining, people saying that I'm going to go blind or that, you know, all of my organs are going to fall out or something like that. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me on this topic. If you want to get a discount code for your first month of GLP-1 medications with the company Fridays, you can use my link and my code BELLA to get $20 off of your first month. I highly encourage you to look into this medication if this is something that has been plaguing you for your entire life. If weight loss is something that you've never been able to crack the code on, I think that this is something that could potentially help you. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.